does that work with Kanban? Do you create a Kanban board, define the workflow, and just call it a day or a year? In the previous episodes, we defined our Kanban board. Now we can use it forever, right? We also defined our work in progress limits, let them last and get on our nerves. We defined our workflow. We defined what was needed, and now it's time to forget about it and focus on the actual work, right? Wait a minute. Defining our workflow is just the starting point. Then putting it into practice first will be like a reality check for what we defined. Does what we thought will actually work in practice? Because the way we want to work should actually help in the actual work and not hold us back or go against it. Today, in this short and sweet episode, we will talk about Kanban practice number 3, improving our workflow, which basically means get a retrospective about it. Continuous improvement. Kaizen. Let's go. Hi, I'm Maria, and this is the Agile State of Mind. Welcome and welcome back to the 3rd episode about the 3 important basic Kanban practices. We already defined the Kanban board, defined the workflow, video number 1. Then we focused on actively managing the work in progress, video number 2. And today we will talk about continuously improving the workflow, which basically means nothing is forever. Things change, our collaboration change, our team members change, and that all the dynamic of our team should be reflected in our workflow. In the good old days of working in the office, I remember once passing by a desk of a developer and seeing some post-its pasted next to his screen. And I started wondering, like a good Scrum Master would do, oh, you have post-its. What are the post-its about? Thinking I had the positive influence on the developers. Everybody likes post-its, and we are now a post-it company. Well, joking aside, he turned to me and he said, we implemented those work in progress limits, and now I cannot move the tasks I work with to in progress. I was quite puzzled. What do you mean? I asked. Well, in Jira we have this work in progress limit, and the column gets totally red if we put more work in it than the limit says. So I just work on them, and when a slot liberates in the column, I remember to move them. Can you imagine my face? It was a couple of weeks after we decided to implement some work in progress limits into our Scrum framework. Can you imagine the workarounds? And if it weren't for my curiosity about the post-its, we might have never found it out. In his head, he had a workaround not to break the system. But hasn't the system been already broken? This short story reflects what we already know. We work with some of the most inventive people out there, and when something doesn't work for them, not always they reach out and tell us that we need to change it. They just invent their own workarounds. So we need to iterate over our processes quite often, and especially when we implement something new, it's good to check how that actually works to avoid this kind of workarounds. That's why the workflow we define needs to be reviewed and adjusted. How do we do it? There are many ways to continuously improve. First of all, if you keep your daily meeting, that's a perfect place to say, hey, I noticed that our in development, in progress column gets blocked. It gets full very quickly. So either we need to find new ways of collaboration or we need to increase the in progress limit, right? And it's okay. Those work in progress limits are not set forever. They are meant to be adjusted, and they are meant to also be broken at some point when you really need to take care of something and there's no other way. Think about it. Think to give to also, as a Scrum Master or a person that helps the team, make sure you encourage the team to provide that feedback. Ask for it. Ask what's working and what's not. And as a team member, it's also your responsibility to work in the best process you can, right? So just bring this up. And then even when we do Kanban and we are happy we don't have so many meetings, I really encourage everyone to have the retrospectives at least once per month. Try to maintain a pace, and especially at the beginning, after doing some big change, focus on that workflow and focus on the changes and how it's working for your team. If you have some hard time thinking about retrospectives, go to Chris Stone's website or LinkedIn, and he shares hundreds or thousands of super cool templates for retrospectives. That's one idea. The other one is to just do some custom-made retrospectives based on the recent changes, on the team dynamic, and so on. All in all, our workflow is a living artifact. It continuously changes just as our interactions and collaboration changes. So keep it going, keep adjusting it, and don't make a big fuss about it. Adjusting the way we work is also part of our job and an attempt to make our workplace a great place to work. And that's all for today. Keep calm and keep iterating. Before you go, I would like to invite you to check out my brand new project. I just set up my profile on buymeacoffee.com/Agile State of Mind. Of course, I have a lot of ideas on how to help you level up your career as an Agile practitioner. If you are a beginner or an experienced Agile practitioner, you can find something for you. We will develop our own Agile toolkit looking for practices from different Agile frameworks. Check it out. The link is in the description. And meanwhile, feel free to buy me a coffee to motivate and keep me going. Thank you, and see you there.